everyone. So, as you already know, I'm gonna be your illustrator for learning some of the Photoshop tricks and, the application in general, okay? My name is Radwa Mahmoud, I'm Egyptian, and I'll be guiding through the Photoshop application. Just right before we start the course, it's gonna be a little bit simple. It's gonna be all about the basics, and then by the end, we may start going into details with the interior designers projects. Okay, it won't be hard. We're gonna go step by step, and as all of the like the other applications, we usually do have a guide for each and every single tool inside the application. So whenever you just feel that you forgot something, it's totally fine to go back in there and check it. Okay, and of course I'll be here to assist you with it, so not to worry. Okay. Okay, so let's jump into our main course, which is Photoshop. Just right before we start, Photoshop or Adobe Photoshop does have lots of versions, and version that I'm going to be taking that course on is the 2023 one. So make sure to get the latest always. I believe there is one more version ahead, so if you were able to get it, just go ahead and do so, okay? And at the moment, as you can already see, the screen itself is showing you the Photoshop page. That's what you're gonna basically see once you open it. Once you press on that new file button, okay? If you do have the option to open a previous file, you're gonna press on open, but now we're just speaking about the first teeny tiny steps, okay? So once you've pressed on the new file, you're gonna get that new document window, which is gonna give you all of the options to actually choose from. Let's put into consideration that there are some important points that you should take into consideration before choosing the size, the color, and lots of other factors in the project, okay? So you don't really want to make an entire project and then just get surprised with the color of the printing, right? So yeah, basically the first and the most important thing in my own point of view is to choose the color. Basically, if you're willing to choose a color that you're going to be working on, I would prefer it to always be white, okay? Because white is nice, so why not? You can still choose black or background color, transparent, or just custom your own color from here. But since it's gonna be your background, I believe white is gonna be the perfect fit. And of course, it would vary from a project to another, okay? So after choosing that white, we're all good to go, and we're gonna be going on with the next step, which is basically the color mode. The color mode, just to let you know, would be really affecting your printing, will be really affecting the colors that would be showing on the web pages, because as you already know, the main course is not really focused on websites, but you can still use it to make some pictures that you can upload online. So whenever you're actually uploading a picture online, these pictures should be vibrant enough, right? Colorful. So whenever you're actually doing so, you know that this project won't be printed. It's just for the sake of websites or for the sake of a specific application. Go ahead and choose the RGB color, which is basically red, green, and blue, okay? Red, green, and blue. So the three of them would usually give you more vibrant colors, the ones that you can always see on the website. This is the choice, okay? But if you're gonna actually print it, then there is one of two options, okay? And that's really important because that would totally depend on the colors that are usually placed on the printer, which is basically cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, okay? Which is, as you already figured out by this point, which is the CMYK color, okay? So if you're gonna be printing a colorful document, go ahead and choose that one, okay? And to be honest, I always go ahead and choose that one because I know that the projects would be printed by the end, especially for the interior designers, okay? So that's another point. And then if you're actually willing to just print it in black and white and grays, then you can choose the grayscale, okay? Mainly these are the three important ones that you should put in head. And of course, I would highly recommend to choose the CMYK if you're going to be printing, because that's actually how it goes, okay? So after you chose the one that you're going to be working with, we're gonna go ahead and choose the next step, which is gonna be the resolution. Okay, for the resolution, most of the times I just leave it as 300, but there are other factors that would actually tell you which one to choose or which number to put in, okay? So For example, if you're a student and you're making that for like a classwork that you're going to be actually submitting online, then most likely the resolution should be a little bit lower than usual, okay? Which isn't going to be giving you the best quality, but again, that's most likely going to be the only way to submit it online. Okay, so put that point in mind, and the better the resolution is, of course, the better the project, the quality, everything. Okay, and you have the option to choose between one of two measuring units, which is pixel per inch and pixel per centimeter. Just leave it as it is, pixel per inch, if you're aware of that, type of measuring, and yeah, we're all good to go. The next thing that you should put in mind, which I believe is a little bit obvious, the portrait and landscape mode, it would depend on which type of project you're working on. For example, if you're working a poster, then it wouldn't really matter if it's a portrait or a landscape, because most of the people would be making posters both ways, So just choose the one that fits you better in regards to the project, okay? For me, I'm going to be choosing the landscape one for that project, and yeah, we're all good to go. The next one, which is the second most important thing after the colors, okay, which is basically the size of the paper. So let's say you're going to be printing it. So in that case, you really have to put in mind the size of the paper, because that's what you're going to be applying to the printer later on, okay? But if you're actually putting it online, then you still have to get into consideration the width and the height of the paper, or the width and the height of the project, because as you already know, that would determine later on the size of the project, and it will still be limiting your options to upload it to specific websites. So again, take into consideration this part, and we'll be very good with it, okay? Yeah, very nice. So moving on with it, as you already know, you can see here my recent project sizes, which to be honest were a little bit of playing with Photoshop, okay? So yeah, there were some custom ones, A4 ones, whichever suits you better really, okay? So for the most known one, the one that maybe everybody would be using, which is A4 and A5, okay? A4 and A5 because they're usually used for posters, for advertisements, these stuff, which are basically also done on Photoshop, okay? In case you're gonna be printing a huger or a wider project, then you can still choose from the other option that I'll be showing you now. For now, these are the recent ones, so if you are gonna be setting one that you always use, it will always show in here, so that you don't have to really repeat every single detail for each and every single project. And for that project, I'm just gonna name it with test one. Oh, sorry. Why is it so tricky? Okay, so it's gonna be test one, okay? We're all good to go. And from that bar that you can see in here, you can just choose which size you would like. Okay, how would you do that? If your project is actually made for websites, then choose from web, which is not going to be really our focus in that course, but yeah, you can just choose from here if you're going to be making a design for a website or something, okay? Same goes for the mobile and the film and video. These three are really not the focus of that course, so we won't really go into details for them. But going back to our main one, which is going to be either photo, print, or illustration, and art, of course. Okay, so for art and illustration, you can create a poster, can create a postcard, can create just to let you know that P is a pixel actually, so you can choose it either 720 pixel or 1080 pixel, or you can just put in the number that suits you in here, width and height and everything, okay? So yeah, that was basically about the posters and the things that you might still be printing, okay? And then going to the print page, as you can see, you can choose lots of sizes. The ones that are basically known everywhere and used in every place, we can say, are basically the A4, A5, and A3. At least for me, okay? So the A4 is the normal book page that you may have inside your house. The A5 is preferable for like posters, advertisements, these stuff that you might be actually like giving over to people because they don't really want newspaper to read. Okay, and the A3 is for a little bit larger projects and so on. Okay, so just choose the size that suits you better or enter the number, and that's gonna be for printing. Okay, don't forget to set the color to be CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay. Nice. And then moving on to the last one, which is going to be photo. If you're actually deciding to edit a photo, do a photo project, then you can choose from here. And still, if you're going to be going on with the print, you're able to actually apply a picture onto Photoshop later on, as we'll be like speaking about it later on. If you did choose also art and illustration, you can still also apply a picture. So both ways, you can have the option to change, add, and remove anything you would like later on. So basically that was a small brief of what we're actually going to be taking or what we're actually going to be discussing in that course, and maybe a small intro to how to start off the project in general. Okay, once you've done choosing everything from here, including the size, the color, the resolution, the orientation, everything, you just go ahead and press on create. Nothing else. Once you've done that, you're gonna have like a workspace to start working on, and by then we're still gonna be speaking about the um, tools, about the like the bars that you'd be having, the pop-ups, everything together. That's it. Thank you for that, and I'm glad like we did manage to discuss these simple points over this part. And looking forward, I just wanted to clarify that we're going to be going through some real practical projects together once we're done with explaining the tools and the bars and these stuff. And of course, we'll be getting more and more professional over each and every single course. So let's hope for the best. And yeah, for the next course, hopefully, we're going to be going through the main simple stuff over the main workspace over Photoshop. I know I did mention the word over a lot, but yeah, you get my point, okay? So we're gonna also discuss the basics in the next like episode of the course together, and yeah, that's all about it. I'm glad we were speaking over this course together, and hoping to see you in the next one. Wish you a wonderful day, all. Thank you.